Hey everyone, welcome back to another RestoreMySneakers.com video. In this episode, I'll be showing you how to prep the midsole for repainting. The items that you'll need are acetone or nail polish remover, a container to put the acetone or nail polish remover in, some gloves, cotton squares or cotton balls, cotton swabs or better known as Q-tips, and optional are masking tape. Now I prefer to use acetone because it's a lot stronger and works much easier in removing the paint on the midsole. You can use nail polish remover, which is a watered down version of acetone, but removing the paint may take a little longer and it is safer though. Now the thing about acetone is, since it's a lot stronger, it's recommended that you use gloves and make sure that you use it in a well ventilated area. The next thing that I'm going to do is mask this area that is not painted. And if you're fairly new to this, you're definitely going to want to mask it off, because when you're removing the paint, you're going to end up smearing paint where you don't want it to get onto. Now, over time you'll get better at this and you'll rely less on the masking tape. Now, I'm going to use the tan colored masking tape. Since the midsole is blue, using this is just going to make it a little harder for me to tell which one's which. And the masking tape I'm using is the Scotch 3M. I noticed that the ones that you get from dollar stores don't really stick onto the midsoles really well, and then you're going to have some issues with that. So go with something that's name brand. And use your thumbnail to press the paint masking tape down. And for those areas where it gets kind of jagged, you'll just want to cut the tape shorter. That way you can contour better to those edges if needed. Now it's not necessary, but if you want to, you can go over with another layer of the areas that you masked off. That way it gives you another layer of protection when you're removing the paint. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it as is. Before I use the acetone, I'm going to demonstrate the effectiveness of nail polish remover on removing paint. As you can see, it still has some faint blue, and I did have paint transfer onto the cotton pad. So now I'm going to go on and use acetone. So I suggest using a pair of gloves, but I'm just going to be using one glove on the hand that I'm going to use to actually remove the paint from, paint with. So pour the acetone into your container that is safe for using acetone. You don't want to get too much on there because you don't want this to pool up on the midsole, because it can cause it to bubble up. As you can see, it just wipes it off. Now when you're removing the paint, you want to move in a direction where you're not smearing it back onto the areas you've removed the paint from. So I suggest going in an upward, going in this motion right here. You can go back and clean that off. And you can go back to the areas where you smeared it on and just clean that off. As you can see, that paint did smear onto the areas where the masking tape is on, and that's exactly what its purpose is to make sure that you don't transfer that onto the areas you don't want it to be on. Well, I'm going to stop right here. I just wanted to demonstrate the process of using acetone to remove the existing paint in order to prep it for repainting. So in the next episode, I'll have this all ready to go. I'm going to be using paint to repaint the midsole. Now you can use Angelus leather paint black and add some Angelus duller to give you that nice matte finish. However, I'm going to be using a different route. I'll be using Meltonian color spray in black and Krylon matte finish to achieve that matte finish on the midsole. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to stay tuned for our next episode.